But the point is that
Pete?
you know, occasionally you can just get too in love with continuity, and I mean, with the amount of characters and the amount of concepts that were left when Grant took a powder back to the Dark Empire, or up north, as we like to say, in Manhattan. He left this tremendous font of concepts and possibilities that as writers and conceptualists, we could have played with. You may not have liked the fact, and I didn't, that the X-Men were public, but okay, it was there. We have a world where there are millions of mutants. They're trying to cope. Let's play with it. Where can you go with this? What can you do with it? What are mutants like? You know, what you could do character. You could start exploring the character and story possibilities in South America, in Africa, I mean, think of China. It's 1.3 billion people. There are 1.3 billion people in India. A few of them you have to figure ought to be mutants. What if they run into each other? What? I mean, maybe there's a reason the Himalayas are like a wall between the two of them. I mean, it's God's way of saying, no interaction, not while you're mutants. I mean, it's just a thought, but it's something that's in the Bible. It's sort of like the back end. But the point is that there are all these things to play with, all these potential directions to go with, that we whose stories have sort of been locked into this America-centric mode for so long, it was an opportunity. And I think it's regrettable that we let it slip past.
It ended rather quickly after we finished.
Well, that's a management editorial decision. We peons down working at the keyboards don't really pay attention to that, except when it runs us over. But I know this is going to be a boring reference again, but that's again the nice thing about Exiles is that you can take all these potentials and all these possibilities and all the ideas that once that you just rejected because it wasn't the sort of thing the X-Men did or the world did, and you can play with them and see if they're viable or not viable, and if we can perhaps entice 5 readers this issue, 10 readers next issue, 20 readers the issue after, and see where we can go with it.
Well, you do have the regular continuity Psylocke team, is that?
Yeah, and Sage.
You love them.
I love all my characters. I love the ones that Len created and that I took over, the ones that Dave created that were just breathtaking, the ones that John created. I mean, it's like they're, like it or not, I did 17 solid years the first time. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Quote, Gino. You can't know good characters like that for as long as that and not A, come away with affection for them, and B, want sometimes too desperately to see what happens next, where you go, what you do, what you can play with.
I definitely agree with what you're saying, and I also agree with the fact that this comic is dumb.
Wow.
Great, Pete.
That's great transition.
I feel like that's what he's getting at.
Now, if you want to see real insults, I'll show you my emails. Oh no, they're ruthless online, I'll tell you.
Oh, we know.
It's true.
All right, we're going to move on a little bit. Batman Death Mask #1, which is a manga-influenced Batman story.
Yeah.
Pete, you didn't like this. Why?
You're damn right I didn't. I'm starting to get into manga, and I feel like, hey, this was a cool idea. Let's see what Batman's like if he's manga'd out. And hey, I didn't like it. I'm getting to that.
I mean, so far what you said was I didn't like it because it turned out that I didn't like it.
Thank you for the recap. As I was saying, I thought I might like the fact that it's black and white. but I just didn't like the transition from what I know as Batman to the manga version of Batman, as well as the other characters. I feel like manga has a certain way of telling a story and a certain way of doing things, and I felt like, to me, my Batman world manga'd out was kind of lamer and a little cheaper, and his crotch was drawn weird. What's that?
Nothing.
Can I ask you a question? Okay, I understand that, you're reading this sort of
Backwards.
Back to front.
Well,
right to left.
Right.
So, David during the as pose I of President Wayne Enterprises, it all other for do wouldn'ts?
Yeah, they've drawn a
I'm
weird.
confused.
Some things are totally backwards, and then some things
If
are.
if you're reading from right to left,
yeah.
it doesn't make a lot of
I
sense.
think they tried to compromise a little bit for their, maybe not, because I think a lot of books do this that are
Panels
manga.
are
They're like,
different, but-
hey, you read it backwards, isn't that cute? Buy it, and you'll be like a manga fan. And then they're like, actually, just read it.
Okay, I mean, there is a reason for it. There's not a reason for it in this one. The reason for it in general is that in the original printing, it's right to left, so that oftentimes, if you're going to go and flip the image, the characters will be looking the wrong way.
Right, yeah.
So the sight lines and things like that won't match up.
Oh, shit.
In this case,
No, the panel structure is right to left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes. It's not, it doesn't, it isn't.
No,
Yeah,
no,
this one's a little weird.
No, they're
His
one of
head's
the
gonna
first
explode.
pages.
Been there, done that, it's not a lot of fun.
the thing about the story is, I think the story is
Sorry.
a totally fine Batman story. The manga art is totally fine. There's just no big reason to make a big deal about this being a manga Batman film.
What I don't like is the villain cuts people's faces off,
Oh.
and he cuts them off like here, and then they just slide off.
I was trying to explain this to you earlier, right? When you slice somebody's face off, the skull gets taken down and it's nice and flat over here.
How do you know? How do you know that?
Personal
The next side
experience.
over here.
Yeah, at first it bugged me. I felt like it was kind of gimmicky, like an unnecessary part of the manga.
Is this the face being cut off?
No, this bug.
Oh.
But then I decided I was being racist. So I like it.
Be nice. Wow.
I don't know how you
You're
guys
covering
feel.
up your race.
I think what it all came down to was the instructions for all of the Japanese Air Force in World War II were written left to right, not right to left. I got very confused.
What?
Would you say pick of the side?
I liked how it kind of ended up, so I might buy the next issue, but in general, I didn't think it was that great.
But they may fake you out next issue and print
Yeah,
left to right.
could be a different size book.
Or
No, I don't like that. I don't like books that aren't shaped like this. All right, let's move on and talk about the latest issue of Amazing Spider-Man number 557.
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we go.
Oh, God.
I think the art on this is great.
Yes, the art on this is great.
Chris Pachalo. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Chris Pachalo is great.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Chris Pachalo is brilliant.
Yeah.
And his art here a lot of
I wish he was
times.
drawing the X-Men.
wish you guys could see this.
Yeah.
It's really good.
A lot of
Wow.
times. A lot of times.
Almost splash page, come on.
Okay, you guys want, well, that's not very
All right.
good.
Basically, what's going on is Spidey is
That was you guys making that.
Spidey is trapped in a blizzard with a Mayan killer death god.
Yeah.
And,
The real Splash Page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I really like.
You
it.
like that how every first page is a fake
I think
first
that's
page of
cute.
the Daily Bugle?
It's a recap.
That's
It's a cute recap.
Oh my God.
But think about it, it's how the newsday is going to look in about 6 months.
Yes.
Follow the news.
Now that the Australians bought it.
Yeah, the whole country.
Well, it's good.
Well, the interesting thing is with Bloomberg wanting to buy the Times, that'll clash of the titans.
Yeah.
Donald Trump would say, "I'll sell you both houses."
It's
Some
huge
can
battle.
find a way to buy them.
Trump's going to buy the National Enquirer.
Do
Yeah.
they still make
No,
newspapers?
you gotta learn the money.
No, no.
Okay, oh gosh. I don't know.
Yeah, they're like block.
Are they all part of
Yeah.